Welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. My name is World Undone. Thanks so much for joining me in this episode. So it's been a few days since I recorded my last episodes. I've been editing the... Pardon me. Oof. I've been editing the past videos that I did. And one thing I've noticed during that edit, somehow in the last episode, I completely missed the sergeant getting stabbed in the foot by the old man. Go back and check it out if you missed it too. Because I was just like, how on earth? And like the baby's just like staring at it, like, look at those! So that was fun. But anyway, so I was looking through my videos. God, this game is good. Like, I'm shocked at how good this game is. The 3D animations especially. I'm hooked. I'm in. And I think we are getting very close to the end of Trial 1. So, without any further ado, let's wrap this up. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's stake after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah! Ooh, that's new. Oh, look at that. Squirming. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. Yes! The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. Oh, she's wriggling, all right. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you can remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite... Pardon me. So the voices... I've been enjoying doing the voices, and looking over them while editing the videos. God, this music is awesome. They're not actually all that different, but they're different to me. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. I believe so too. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. I promise I'm not trying to play him as gay. I'm just trying to do a Bishonen voice as best I can. I'm sorry for keeping you. And look at that! Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look. Hi. Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Ah, it can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Josiah Brett. It's you! Alright. What kind of reaction are we gonna get out of you, Miss Brett? Oh, the swan died. Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No. No! Ooh. Okay, she's not done fighting yet. Okay, so the swan is really dropping out chicks? That's not how swan birth works. They lay eggs. That's a black swan. What am I looking at? What? You lost a lot more than your composure. You lost, like, a tangible part of reality that we all have to deal with now. But let's, I guess, move on somehow. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. Okay, I guess we really are at the end. It was I who took the professor's life, using Cure. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So, one thing that hasn't come up in this trial at all, for Miss Brett and for me, was motive. Why the professor was shot. So, I assume we're going to find out exactly what her motive is, because, yeah, it hasn't even come up once. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Cure is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose? Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. But the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. Sorry for the flashes. There is an option to turn them off in the game, but I kind of like them. They're not so extremely excessive that I feel the need to turn them off, and they're good for emphasis. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cure Air in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. I think the Japanese are confusing Americans with British. Under your skirt? Your. God damn it, translators. So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You'd notice the gun, as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. So, one thing I'm hoping they explain here, I guess okay, so she wasn't planning on shooting him. She just did that to frame Ryunosuke. Because I was wondering, why shoot him if you're just poisoning him to death? That seems like it leads... Yeah, so I think you guys understand what I'm saying here. There's more that can go wrong with that, but she needed to frame Ryunosuke because she wasn't able to slip away unnoticed. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit, and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Oh, I think murder is a lot more than a misdemeanor. Yeah, you're not walking away from this unscathed. Your Excellency. Yes. I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Why does she need to speak with him in private? Suspicious. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Not looking too likely. Can we see your eyes? Yet? No? Maybe later. I was hoping we would be able to see her eyes. It would seem. This trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Taketsuchi Aochi does not lose. The more I was thinking about it, like, it wouldn't be Aochi, would it? It would be Euchi. If it was Japanese. Anyway, you absolutely did lose. Not to the likes of this. This rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Ryunosuke Naruhodo! Yes? This insult to the Auchi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. What? Taking out the sword? It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. God, Kazuma's cool. Also, how do you do that from across the courtroom? 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Auchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Wow. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits. But what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. That's a new expression. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm in the witness stand. Oh, because he's going to declare me not guilty. As we all know, it is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Alright, here we go, everybody. Are you ready for this? I remember this from the good old-fashioned Ace Attorney days. Are we going to celebrate? Yeah! Confetti! The prosecutor is still in complete shock after getting his ponytail cut. This court is now adjourned. Beautiful. Alright, God, this really brings me back to the good old days, playing the original Ace Attorney on the DS, but as the reviews predicted, this really is so far better in every way. It's kind of insane. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha 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 ha. No. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Is this the Mikotoba guy? Oh, it's a Mikotoba girl. Susato. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Oh, that's me. Thank you so much. Arigato. Gozaima. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we know. Susato Mikotoba. Speaking of Mikotoba... Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed a true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, and culture, and, of course, in law. So are you not going? Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. Okay, so you are going. Good, I guess. It's Knife Crime Island, Ryunosuke. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. And that reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Jezzael Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. Oh? It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She'll be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Jezzael Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who is going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away, where our voices cannot be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Okay, what is a consular court? I'm not smart enough to know what that is. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. Wow. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. Yeah, might as well celebrate. We got off, at least. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But, Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? Oh, I don't know so much about that. As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes. Thank you. So Jezzael Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Right. Motive. The whole time, I'd completely forgotten about this, but we never learned her motive. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Well, come on, be serious. I'm kind of agreeing with Kazuma here. There were times where he was completely out of options and we had to step in and actually solve the case. Which, again, very different from the original Ace Attorney game, where it really was... They made Phoenix Wright a little too pathetic, especially in the first game. If I helped you today, It was only right at the start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. Okay, the heart of the cards. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you, right. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in, and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. And just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, I didn't have a choice. You faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. Yeah, because I was gonna be proven guilty if I didn't. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. What is this what is going on? Is there something going on that you're not telling me? There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. What's that favor? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. To your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes. That too. Something's going on here. I don't know what. So, my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still, he played a huge part. What are you talking about? It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. The power of friendship. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Alright, end of the first trial. Yeah, my voice was so shot that day that I was gonna do. I couldn't have lasted 30 more minutes. Yes, I'm going to save my current progress. Of course I am. Oh? Is that the ridiculously named individual? God. Let's hope not. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Anyway, so I was considering ending the episode right here before the second episode starts, or rather, ending episode 6 of my playthrough before episode 2 of the game starts, but we're only half an hour in this episode, so we might as well just start it. Yes, please. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Oh god, here it is. Sholmes. No!
やがて通気口からシューシューと低くうなるような音が聞こえてきた。その瞬間、突然ホームズが飛び出して闇の一点をステッキで鋭く打ち据えた。見たかワトソン。ホームズの張り詰めた声が空気を震わす。私がランプの遮光板を上げると部屋の情景がぼんやり浮かび上がった。ホームズは部屋の隅を睨みつけて私に向かってつぶやくように言った。被害者が死の間際に言い残したまだらの紐という謎の言葉。その恐ろしい正体こそがこいつだったのだよ、ワトソン。
So, it is Wilson, not
こ
Watson.
こには巨大な毒蛇が牙を向き威嚇するようにトグロを巻いていた。それは世にも恐ろしいまだらの紐だった。
Uria.
それでは謎解きを始めるとしようか。この奇怪なる殺人事件。
What?
失礼。犯行時、扉は内側から缶抜きがかかっていた。缶抜きに細工された痕跡はない。犯行の際、この現場は完全な密室状態だったわけだ。被害者は死の間際にメッセージを残したようだ。
Russian.
ここに落ちているインク
Or Cyrillic.
と考えられる。ロシア語。どうやら被害者はロシア人ということか。文字に全く乱れは感じられない。
Compos Mentis.
強かったのだ。見たことのない妙な文字だな。筆跡はこのメッセージとは明らかに違う。いや、これはむしろ人種が違うと断言してもいいかもしれない。
Yeah, I wonder why. What are you doing?
札を貼ったのは犯行時間の
Oh.
被害者自身だったようだな。ほう。これはこれは。
一体貴様は何なんだ。好き勝手しやがって。
そうです。海洋警察が到着するまで現場に手を触れず待つべきだ。
その必要はない。どうやら今から5秒以内に諸君を犯人に紹介できそうだ。
バカを言うな。殺人現場だぞ。しかも奇怪な密室殺人だ。
それでは密室の謎、その封印を解くとしましょうか。
まさかその中に犯人が。
Ah, infrared goggles, somehow, in the Victorian era.
一体君は何者なのだ。僕は大英帝国が誇る世界の名探偵なのです。シャーロック・ホームズ。もしかして知らないとか。
God, he says Sherlock Holmes in Japanese, and yet we have to deal with Sherlock Holmes. Ugh. 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 God, I'm debating whether or not I should just call him Sherlock Holmes. Because the Japanese clearly do. Whatever. My head is throbbing from the utter absurdity of that name. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait. I can't move. Ooh. Are we being framed for murder again? Seriously, are we being framed for murder again? That seems unlikely. Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You... you found me then. Oh, he's Russian. Duh. We found you. And now you big criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, hmm? Ugh. Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, hmm? No, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh, Susato-san. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Wait. Don't tell me. Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's belt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. Oh god, Kazuma's dead? That sucks. You gotta be kidding me. He was so cool. What? Kazuma-sama was... Oh no. Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you are doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But it can't be. And these handcuffs, surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. Obviously I didn't. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was gonna die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Wow. Bro, could you not... Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. Wow. That's a long trip. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. Ugh, I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? So I love doing Kazuma's voice, but it is a little straining on the vocal cords, I'm not gonna lie. So, well, no, I'd still rather have Kazuma here with me. It's a really fun voice to do, regardless of the strain. From your close friend, more to the point. I mean, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I'm still reeling. I had a sneaking suspicion that Kazuma might die. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so in the first Ace Attorney game, spoiler alert, our actual, defense attorney friend who helps us in the first trial dies in the next trial, so it's kind of following a pattern here. But it's still annoying, man. Like, he's just so cool. I know it's cramped, but... Oh, I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? Oh, that's what the Japanese said. What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. Okay, 2 weeks. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We'll leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. So if we're traveling from Japan to England, we'd be going around... I wonder where we're going to be dropped off at. Murderer? No, I'm not a murderer. Duh, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... Murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I would like to ask of you, too. Ugh, those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Kazuma's death. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. Okay, so maybe I'm not being framed for murder. This might, because like last time I was legitimately framed. This might just be being in the wrong place at the wrong time. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been someone inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? Not yet. This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. God, this is like Kafka's The Trial. The cause of death is still undetermined? They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training, first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far in this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside... Okay, so Kazuma wrote this in Russian? For some reason? Alright, already very suspicious. There was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard for me to believe too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Alright. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board the ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of the incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. We say that, and yet, harm has befallen. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then... Then what? Nothing. Forget it. And he's dead, so he can't ask anymore, obviously. Kazuma-sama is... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yeah, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. Yeah, what is this expression? It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Wouldn't it be fun? I mean, this is just so utterly ridiculous that it's not even worth contemplating. But I'm just going to say it just in case it turns out after the whole huge investigation and trial it turns out to be true. What if he was like, okay, so obviously once we get off this boat, there's only going to be one student that's going to be able to learn in England. So why don't I set up this trial and have myself end up being killed so you can solve the trial and prove your own innocence and end up being the one person who gets to study in England. That's so utterly ridiculous that it shouldn't even be said. But, just in case it ends up being true, I wanted to say it right now. Susato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. How close were you with the victim, Susato? That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is... Oh boy. Alright, well, remember Disco Elysium? Remember Amnesia? It's back, everybody. I don't really remember. Ridiculous. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I feel asleep? Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. She doesn't believe a word we're saying. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. I wonder if there's a way... Hang on. Is there a way to make the text box go away? What kind of a visual novel doesn't have the ability to make the text box go away? Oh, whatever. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? We're gonna investigate. Yeah, I'm gonna find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Judo master? Ah, I see you know your judo well. What the... That was a Susato takedown. Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already? what you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Okay. I suppose I will have to do that. In the next episode. Seems as good a time to stop as any. In fact, it seems like a much better time to stop than any other we've been presented with. So, I will end the episode here. I am bummed about Kazuma leaving. I'm bummed that I don't get to voice him anymore. I'm bummed because he was such a cool character. I'm bummed because I was in love with him. Wait, actually, hang on, never mind. Let's skip that part. Because my character had so much affection for him, as platonic friend mates like you do. And so yeah, now we're on case number 2. I'm somewhat surprised that we have to defend ourselves again. That didn't happen in the first Ace Attorney thing. For the first one, we had to defend our friend, and then defend ourselves. So we'll see exactly what happened in this case in the next episode. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I will see everyone in the next one. I'm World Undone, and take care.